Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one, the only Zebec network. We do have a few things to talk about in terms of technical analysis and overall just the market. We can see, right, outside the top 100, the top 100 to 200 is, where we're at. And we can see there's only two big green cryptos on the day, right? We are on the day. We could go to the weekly. Overall, you can see a lot more red, generally speaking. But like on the day, right? Today has been a big red day. The last few days have been a little bit, red-ish, we can say. We can see OG is at 34% plus, 36%. We have like two more greens, maybe the small one, but overall we have like what, seven, eight, maybe coins that are a little bit green. But generally speaking, the markets have been bleeding, right? The markets have been bleeding. Zebec down 9.1%, rank 149, which I actually don't think that's true. We're 136, so crypto 138 now. So crypto bubbles has that wrong. Crypto bubbles has that wrong. But yeah, we can see it when we go like to the top 100. I mean, overall, everything is just red, right? Like I said, one, two. I mean, that doesn't count. One, two, three, four. Four green cryptos from what I see out of 100. So, right, it is a little bit of a bloodbath right now. When we go to something like Bitcoin, we can see Bitcoin has broken out to the downside, right? Bitcoin has broken down to the downside. In the private community, I talked about how, pretty much if we don't see a higher high than this point over here, then most likely Bitcoin will start to go lower and lower, and we will see a bleeding in the markets, which is why on my Twitter page and in the private community, I said, do not buy altcoins right now because a bloodbath is just around the corner. And we can see, right? That's why structure is very important. We have this high here, we have this lower high, and then the next few days, I mean, ever since the 27th, we have been generally selling off. We see that share on the 31st, the 1st and the 2nd, there was a little bit of blue, but I mean, look how weak that was, right? It was super, super weak, and the Monday instant sell off. And to be honest, I probably expect Bitcoin to go down at least to 103,000, probably to take out this zone over here, which means overall, I still expect altcoins to be bleeding out a little bit more, generally speaking. I'd be really, really surprised if Bitcoin were to find, some type of momentum to the upside like this, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. What does this mean for Zebec? Well, we're going to dive into it right now. We're going to start from the back, actually. We can see that over the last couple of days, we actually lost some holders. We went from 87,504 to 87,297 at one point. We're back up at 87,333. So, you know what? That's probably the first dip we've seen in a while. People are probably just panic selling. To be honest, I'm not really concerned about this at all. Zebec has been holding better than most cryptos. This, altcoins, it's not altcoin season, but the last few months, Zebec has been holding better than most altcoins. So I don't really care if we see a drop in like 200 holders out for one day, considering we've been consistently growing in holders like every single day for the last couple of months. And yeah, it just, if anything, is slow down momentum, but kind of who cares? We can see that we rank 138 out of 9,319 active cryptos. So we can see a lot of cryptos are getting delisted. A lot of cryptos are coming and going. And yeah, but Zebec is here to stay. We see we're at 300 million market cap, 16 million volumes. Volumes actually up almost 100% in the last 24 hours. And to be honest, 300 million market cap for our predictions, we still believe that is still going to be a little bit more than 30x from the all-time highs. I know people don't like to hear that, especially when crypto goes down, but I mean, it's just part of the cycle. There's going to be up moments, down moments. And altcoin season, the pure peak fun is only lasts a couple of weeks anyway. So I think that's what a lot of new people do not realize. Anyways, Coinbase, right? There have been the rumors. We talked about the wallets. So I expect Coinbase to be listed soon, especially that usually not too long after Kraken gets listed, Coinbase and Binance usually follow. Same thing with Robinhood at times, right? Obviously, Robinhood's a little bit more stingy when it comes to listings, but we will see. We will see. We will see. Anyways, right? That is the basics. We will dive into the charts a little bit right now. So when we go and look at our beloved Zebec, yeah, we can see we're down. Let's just see. Actually, ever since like the Sunday, somewhere here in the Sunday, we went down 1.18%. Right now, we're down roughly 11%. So not bad, not bad. Considering altcoins are bleeding a little bit more. The bias of this, right? We talked about how I wasn't a fan of this, how I want to see more momentum earlier, right? And yeah, this is exactly why, because usually these type of trend lines do not hold, right? It's actually very, very rare, like extremely rare. I think Toshi might be like the only crypto that I know that at one point had this type of structure for months and is still maintaining it. But generally speaking, it never holds, it never lasts. Through the years and years of trading and just looking at cryptos and everything, I've never seen anything last like this. So we got the sweep, right? We got the sweep, which is not bad. My limit order actually got triggered at 0.003 31. So I forgot about it, but we sniped, we dollar cost average. So that's nice. That is nice. In terms of structure, right? We have been generally just kind of consistently been creating lower and lower points, right? We have a high over here. We have pretty much a double top, slightly lower. We have a lower high. Yes, you could count this, but in terms of just main swing points, we have a lower high here. The last few days, we've been creating equal highs, right? The last 3 days. And then we can see a drop off point. Even if we go upwards of 0.0036 and we close here, that doesn't really move the needle. We would have to see something like this, then come back down, close above the 0.0029, right? And then have nice momentum to the upside. For me, at least taking out the 0.004. That's like the main thing. But here's the deal, anyways, right? The thing is, Zebec has enough upside movement to the point where we can just go upwards of 0.0046 zone and it wouldn't change that much, right? You could have a good opportunity to short it here. You might have a good opportunity maybe if you buy here and sell up there, right? Some short-term moves, because ultimately we're still stuck in this huge range. Okay, we are still stuck in this huge range. And we can see we could afford to go up to upwards of 0.0046, 47, 48. We can just like always wick and come back down. And we can see, right? That's that side of the range. And when we go to something like this, we are kind of, boom, at the bottom side of the range. So if you do believe this range will hold, then right now overall is objectively a good buying opportunity. If you do believe that, the 0.0027 will get swept and possibly even the 0.0023 will get swept, then it's a good time to just hold off and play it more like a sniper, right? Because that's the sniper entries, right? Buying at lower prices, waiting for certain zones to get swept, buying, waiting for certain zones to just get swept, and then buying. They're not always guaranteed, right? They're not always guaranteed, but there is a good amount of times where sniper shots do go off. So if that's something you want to do, you could be looking for potentially the 0.0027 or like the 2.3 to get in entries. But if you do personally believe that we will just be holding this range, right now getting in is not even that bad. Objectively speaking, right, we talked about it before, that if you're even buying, let's just say anywhere from like the 0.043 downwards, you are going to be chilling, right? Investors, big institutions are putting in millions of dollars at these prices. There's a reason why they're putting in millions of dollars at these prices. Like this whole entire range, even the upside of it, right? Even the upside of like 0.5, like 0.005, right? Institutions don't care. They know where Zbec's going to be a couple months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now, right? They're fine turning $1 million, even if it goes down 50%, back down to 500K, and then seeing that 500K recover and go up 100x, 200x to millions and millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. They're fine with that. They literally do not care. We discussed this before, right? Institutions do not care. And like I said, Zebec network, this crypto is only a 300 million market cap. And this is where, the other previous cryptos have been like XLM, right? HBAR was low and it went up like 10, 15, 20x, right? We had XRP in 2017 be at a similar market cap. And then this thing shot up like hundreds of X's. So, all these cryptos always seem like, oh, they're done for, things are going down. I didn't get my pump in a day. I'm mad, scam coin. But at the end of the day, that's not how it works. That's not how the crypto markets ever worked. You can go and check any point in crypto history. The only time they actually did truly pump consistently for a few short weeks is when the altcoin season was here. But we're not in altcoin season yet, and we won't be in 2026. So seeing downwards or sideways movement for the next 2 months should be generally expected, right? But if you have extra dough on the side, or you're willing to be, even dollar cost averaging a little bit, 50 bucks here, 25 bucks here, 100 here, 300 here, everyone has a different financial situation, then you will be generally looking very, very golden buying it like in this green box, right? Even if we go a little bit lower, let's say we do sweep at one point, right? But you're gonna be looking really, really good, like really, really, really good. So yeah, do not get discouraged. Do not get discouraged. I've been personally dollar cost averaging at these low points consistently. I plan on buying more Zbec when it gets lower. And yeah, that is ultimately it, right? In the short term, nothing really has changed. Like I said, we talked about the daily candles, but that doesn't really move the needle until we see some kind of huge surge in momentum. But then even then, we might just peak out and top out at the 0.0045 to the 47 range anyways. So like I said, unless you're a short-term investor, hypothetically, if we did shift in momentum, yeah, you can make 44%, which is always not bad. But yeah, that is ultimately it, though, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.